I will be in the UFC eventually. I'm not shy about it. I'll be the best in the world. I will prove I will be the UFC champion of the world. I personally want to see Paddy versus Oliveira because I think that would be an amazing fight.
I am joined by George Staines ahead of Octagon 71 over in Munich on the 17th of May. George, you're taking on the Namibian Nightmare. How are you feeling ahead of what is coming up? And it promises to be a very good fight night.
Yeah, I'm feeling great. Thank you very much. I'm feeling fantastic, really. Everything's gone according to plan. Like, camp's been amazing, training's been amazing, everything around it's been quality. So, feeling excellent coming up to fight night. Yeah, feel like it's going to be a great night for me, really.
How are you feeling? Obviously, about in starting your professional journey with Octagon. How are you feeling about your fights with the promotion? Do you feel like you're being looked after well? Do you think this is a good platform to really build your professional career on?
Yeah, I feel very lucky because again, a lot of people, especially from the UK, kind of get like not put on like they're on the smaller shows to begin with. Like that you have your amateur fights and you have a couple pro fights on these like amateur cards,
Yeah.
and then you work to cage warriors and these other big shows. But obviously, the way Ott's gonna promote myself from doing the TV show and everything else around that has been amazing for my career. It's really helped boost me and boost my profile to become, to another audience. Sorry.
It's all about obviously building a profile in the fight business. If you don't
Yeah,
sell tickets, it's very difficult. So, how aware are you of that side of the business, knowing that you've got to have a bit of a profile? Because you can be a good fighter, but if you don't sell tickets, then it's hard, isn't it?
yeah. No, I'm very fortunate because so I'm from Hull, obviously, and we're a very tight knit community. And again, we people come and follow me wherever. Like I think I've got 20, 30 people coming to watch me from Hull that I know of. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm assuming some other people have got tickets to come and watch as well. Do you know? So I don't know. I know of that 20 to 30. So even like in Munich, I'm selling tickets, like which is considering the fight only got announced 6 weeks ago, that amount of tickets for that distance as well, in my opinion, is pretty good. And when I fight in the UK, I sell hundreds. Again, it's all because obviously people like to see me win or obviously support me, but again, that tight knit community of Hull, we support our own, and it really does show.
Is there any pressure when people are obviously spending their money on flights, getting out to Munich, hotels, things like that, to deliver on fight night?
No, because I always deliver. Do you know what I mean? I've never not delivered. Like I think I'm a pretty exciting fighter, even though I'm more of like a grappler. I feel like I'm an exciting grappler. Like I'm not looking to stall. I'm looking to progress position. If not, I'm doing damage and punching. So I feel like I always perform when it comes to fighting. It's never something I've really ever thought about. Maybe it's just the way I'm like wired, but I've never really thought, I need to perform tonight. It's just always been, let's go do the business, smash it, get that win, and it'll be good either way.
Any thoughts on your opponent coming up?
He's good and he's good. Like he's 10-2 for a reason. He's like I say, he's clearly well tested, and he will be obviously my hardest test to date. But in my opinion, he isn't on the same level as me. And I think that's a lot of people's opinion who know like MMA. You see our actual skill sets and the people we've both fought again. I'd maybe say the hardest fight he's ever had was Butchinger. And Butchinger's old. Like he's a legend, Don't get me wrong, I'm not disrespecting Butchinger anyway. It's more against Nafuka. He's old. He's a featherweight, really. And Nafuka did wobble him like twice and couldn't finish him. And then Butchinger just rode him out, made him gas, made him give up, and finished him. And I think that'll happen very similar in ours. But without his success, I don't think he'll have any success against me, really, because I'm a much younger, I'm taller, bigger. I think I'm a much more not much more. Butchinger's a very high level fighter. Don't get me wrong, but again, I'm younger, I'm fresher, I'm hungrier. I want to be the best in the world. Do you know what I mean? I want to prove that on Saturday night.
Yeah, I mean, as you say, his peak probably had passed by then, whereas you are just starting to really get into your flow. Do you think he'll be your opponent taken aback by your size and how obviously how big you are?
Yeah, I think he will because like not like everyone. I've had a couple of people say like come up to me say like he seems smaller on like videos and that. But I'm like I am 6'1". You know, I'm pretty tall, especially for a lightweight. And I'm starting to fill into my body now. You know, I'm starting to get like my body's starting to fill out, and I'm getting strong. Every camp, I'm hitting new PBs in the gym. You know, weightlifting gym, which is obviously it means nothing in terms of fighting ability. But again, I'm getting stronger every camp. So if I'm getting stronger, it's just going to be harder for you to deal with me, especially when I'm such a when my grappling style's so like draining anyway. Like I'm just going to drain you even more because you're not going to be able to move even. You're going to be able to move even less when I grab you because I'm getting so much stronger in my camps. Um, so yeah, it's I think he's going to realize how much bigger I am than him because he's only 5'9".
Yeah.
You know, that's tiny. I've like we've got kids in our like Gittins and Nathan's. You know, they're like 5'10", 5'9", and they're bantamweights. Do you know what I mean? He's going to realize how big I actually am come fight night.
Obviously 5-0 start to your professional career. Is there any pressure to stay unbeaten as a professional fighter, do you think, for like the marketing point of view, or he's undefeated, things like that? Or are you just not bothered about that at this moment in time?
I'm really not bothered. Like, in my opinion, I am beaten because I had that one loss in amateur. So I have tasted defeat. Um, so I'm not really fussed about. Obviously, yeah, it looks great for organisations. So he's 5-0, blah blah blah, great for promotion. But that comes that if I was 5-0 and shit, that I won't be getting promoted as well. But I'm 5-0 on quality. So even if I was 4-1, because I am a high quality fighter, I'd still be getting pushed. Do you know what I mean? Like look at most like Carlos Vermola. Like he's one of their Octagon's biggest stars, but he had multiple losses. So it's the level of the fighter, you know, and obviously the attraction that fighter brings.
Absolutely. I think people get too hung up on the whole record thing, honestly speaking, but it's the way that it goes, isn't it? People are
Yeah.
just like that, but it's an interesting one. Quick one, if you don't mind,
No.
on Paddy Pimblett.
Yeah.
What's he like to work with?
It's very interesting to work with Paddy. Um, I really like it because it brings me on massively. Like the amount I've leveled up from just the sparring with him, let alone the coaching from next gen. Um, it has massively improved me. Because I get put in positions that I never really would get put in. Usually, like even when I fight, do you know what I mean? I've never been put in positions like that. Whereas Paddy puts me in them regularly. And it's just like, right, how can I fix it? How can I fix it? And if I can fix it one round, 1 week after the last, so let's say it happens this week, I fix it next week. That for me is a massive win because obviously I'm improving and I'm showing improvement. And then he figures out my escape or he figures out what I was doing and it puts me back to the loop and I have to figure out another way to break it. But it's really, really good. It helps me come on massively as a fighter and it really has.
Honestly, like working with people at that caliber, that level, I can imagine it must do a world of good. But
Yeah.
what's it like when you see him after a fight and he puts on obviously a lot of weight and then he works so hard to take it off? When you look at that, obviously from your side of perspective, how is he like? How is he managing that pressure to take that weight off? And when he puts it back on, it must take its toll on his body.
Right now, it seems like it's not taking its toll in his body. Do you know what I mean? He gets the weight off fine, and like again, what I've been told, it was the easiest cut of his life. Yeah, literally, I think I don't think he had to do many baths. I think he did 2 or 3 baths to get the weight off. Do you know what I mean? That's crazy considering how big he is. But I think Paddy's filled out now as well. You can see it, can't you? Like look at him compared to Chandler. Chandler's considered to be a huge lightweight as well. Paddy made him look like a bantamweight in there. Do you know? Paddy looks so much bigger than him. Um, and the only thing when Paddy gets big is that when you're grappling with him, he just feels so much heavier. It's so hard to deal with when he's that big. But like, he just enjoys himself, and he always says, you know, he'd prefer to be fat and happy than ripped and miserable. Well, I agree with him, to be fair. It's better to eat what you want.
Just last one on him. What do you think is next for Paddy? Because obviously he had that obviously incredible win over Chandler, and I think he proved a lot of people wrong because there were some people doubting him, and he shut them up
Yeah.
for sure. What do you think is next for him?
He's got to look at a top. It's really a 3 opponent now, isn't it? Because obviously you've got Poirier and Max fighting for the BMF. Poirier's retirement fight, so there's 5 and 4 not in the picture already. So he's really looking at Charles, Gaethje, or Arman. Like, they're the only 3 options really that I think of really for Paddy. So I think it depends what happens with Islam. You know, maybe Charles and Ilya. Oh, there's Ilya in the mix as well, isn't he? So maybe you get Charles and Ilya fight for the interim belt if Islam does decide to go up, and then maybe Paddy fights Gaethje or Arman. You know, it could. Like, that's what I personally think. I think I'd personally want to see Paddy versus Oliveira, because I think that would be an amazing fight. Like, you know, two the best jiu-jitsu. They've got the best jiu-jitsu in the UFC, especially in the lightweight division. So it'd be a phenomenal matchup to see that for me personally.
2 very marketable names as well. That would
Yeah,
be
it
big sales.
it'd be one of the biggest fights in the lightweight division, really.
It would. It absolutely would. Do you see yourself, obviously in a few years' time, at that level, competing for the biggest titles in the world, or are you not looking that far ahead? What is your kind of mentality when you think about your own career?
No, I think you've always got to look towards the future, but not forget the present type thing. So, like, what I've always said, I will be in the UFC, and that is true to this day. I will be in the UFC eventually. I'm not shy about it. I'll be the best in the world. I will prove I will be the UFC champion of the world. Um, but like I said, I'm not forgetting about the present either. You know, I've got to build my way up. So UFC is always in the back of my mind, but at the front is always what's currently happening. You know, what's happening within this year. You know, I've got this fight, then look to fight against as soon as possible, just to try and stay active for the rest of the year, and then hopefully that'll help push me towards that UFC goal.
Just last one from me. Where did the nickname come from? Starkiller.
So I've got 2 nicknames. Really, I know Tapology says Starkiller,
Yeah.
but on Octagon they call me Saint George. Obviously, Saint George.
Yeah.
I represented England a couple of times. I like it. um, but Starkiller. So for those that don't know, I'm a huge Star Wars fan.
Right.
Yeah. So have you ever played the game Star Wars Force Unleashed?
I haven't, sorry.
So no, don't apologize. The main character in that is like nicknamed Starkiller, but like he's one of the most powerful characters in all of Star Wars. He's Darth Vader's apprentice, very, very powerful. And then I always wanted the Star Wars related nicknames, you know, but you have the Jedi, basic, the Sith. I'm not a Sith. I'm a good guy. And then for ages I was thinking, what could it be? What could it be? Then I went to I trained up at MFA for like a couple of days with the Hardwick brothers, Spad the Hardwicks. And then Harry actually goes to me, oh, you should say Starkiller, like from the game. I was like, shit, that's a sick nickname, to be fair. And I was like, oh, let's just roll with it and see how it goes. And I really do like it, obviously, because it shows my Star Wars side, you know, me geek side.
You know what? You're gonna laugh at this because I thought it came from like a wrestling side. I thought you were like your own take on Randy Orton, who was the legend killer. I feel like you're the star
No,
killer. You take out all the stars in the UFC in the future.
that would that. When I go to the UFC, I might revert back to Starkey. Like, we never know. No, when I always said it was like a double entendre, because like I said, it's after Star Wars reference, but it also has like the actual the Star Killer, and I'm killing all the up and coming stars. Because at the time when was using a name, I was fighting everyone. Do you know what I mean? I'd fight anyone, anywhere, and I was smashing everyone. So it was a fitting name for both sides, but more Star Wars. But yeah, there is a little bit of the, you know, the WWE bit